Hello and welcome to our channel. This is Archie the Cockatiel and I am Archie's mom, Stacy. And today we're going to be answering some of your questions that you had about Archie. Now I do actually want to start out by saying thank you to those of you who voted for Archie in the GreatCompanions.com calendar contest. He did not end up being the winner of the contest, but he was a runner-up, so he gets a gift card. We won some copies of the calendar, and then he'll actually still get to be in the calendar, so stay tuned on that. Also, we are, I think, 10 followers away from having 1,000 followers on our Instagram. So if you haven't already, please go to our Instagram and follow us on there and subscribe to us here on our channel. We would love that as well, right buddy? So we would love if you would subscribe to our channel. Alright, so for the first question that we have, it is, what is Archie's favorite toy? What's your favorite toy, huh? So one of his favorite things to play with is his cuddle bone. I know you wouldn't traditionally consider that to be a toy, but ever since I brought him home, that's been the thing that he really likes to chew on the most. So I would say his cuddle bone. If you want an official toy that's his favorite, I would say that it is this Vine Ball toy. He absolutely loves it. You can get it a few different places, like at PetSmart, or I've seen it at the bird store as well. So you can find it other places as well. He has always loved that toy ever since I got him his first one. I do buy him multiples. He also really likes the Baby Steps toy. It doesn't last very long. Insert a picture of that one here as well. I get it from Parrot Station or from the bird store as well. The next question is, what is his diet? So Archie has a nice varied diet, which is what you want for your cockatiel. He eats vegetables and some fruit. He's not a big fruit fan, but I do add it into his chop, so he kind of eats it without really knowing it. But for his pellets, he eats Higgins Intune pellets. He gets both the cockatiel sized as well as the budgie size because he does like smaller piece pellets. So he gets a mixture of those. He used to eat the Zupreme fruit blend, but I really like the Higgins Intune a lot better. I explain it in my diet video that's all about what I feed Archie. So check that out. I'll have a link up top. But his favorite vegetables are zucchini and sweet potato for sure. He is a big fan of sweet potato. I think that might have actually beat zucchini out as his favorite vegetable now. He also gets AV cakes as an occasional treat. I feed him a cockatiel seed mix on occasion. And then we also feed the Christine's Chop Shop Daily Maintenance Blend. I'll have a picture of that here as well. I also talk about that in his diet video, so definitely check that out. There's a lot of good information and links to products there. He also gets some Tops pellets. He gets pellet berries in one of his other favorite toys that he really likes. He also gets the Burbs Mega Mix. It's a bunch of herbs and flowers that we get from Posh City Pets. I'll have a picture for that here as well. He gets that in his bowl pretty much either every day or every other day. I do a sprinkle of it in there. It's got bee pollen in it, which there's a lot of health benefits in bee pollen, so you should definitely do some research on that if you don't know about it. It's definitely a great thing to give your bird. So good. Oh, is it time for a kissy break already? Okay, back to the video, huh? We're only 2 questions in. He also gets AV&T by Posh City Pets on occasion. I'll make a cup of tea and we can share it because it's avian safe specifically. He also gets Marlene McCohen's Tops blend blended into the smallest size Tops pellets in a bowl on his play stand, just to add some more variation to his diet, because you do want to give your bird a varied diet and not a seed-based diet. It's very important that they get seed as an occasional treat or just a small piece of their diet, and that it doesn't make up a large portion. You also want to limit things like sunflower seeds. Archie gets those sometimes in a little foraging box so that he has to dig through and get the sunflower seeds out of it. It looks like this. That way we can stuff some sunflower seeds inside of it and he has to dig it out to get his seeds. The AV cakes are also nice because even though they do have seeds as well as pellets and sometimes other things like fruit, they have to forage to eat the treat, so that way they have to work for it. You just pooped on me. Ew. Alright, so the next question that we were asked is, how are you so cute? Do you want to explain to us how you're so cute? How are you so cute? Answer. What do you think? What is it that makes you just so cute? Yeah. I don't know what that means, but I think is that your final answer? He was just born that way. Yeah, you were. I remember meeting him when he was a baby. So male cockatiels that are pearled like this lose their pearls over time. So if you look at his older pictures, you'll see a lot more spots. But male cockatiels will actually lose those over time. That's why they're so faded now. But he had a lot of pearls. He also had, where you see his really thick stripe on his beak, it was really thin and almost barely there the first time I met him. And then I went to meet him again and it had thickened up. And it just seems to keep getting thicker and thicker. It's almost taken over that whole side of his beak. And then he has another stripe going on the other side. So just kind of something unique about him is that stripy beak he's got going. But he's just been super cute ever since he was a baby. Alright, so the next question is, when did you start talking and whistling? He started whistling before he even came home. So when he was less than 3 months old, he could cat call, or otherwise known as wolf whistle. At the bird store varieties, they told me that he was fairly vocal already. I had him DNA tested to know that he was a male ahead of time. But you can definitely tell with a cockatiel when they're male, when they tend to be more vocal like that, especially learning to talk and things, just because females tend to be more on the quiet side. So he definitely proved that he is male and that DNA test was correct. He learned to say pretty bird a few weeks after I brought him home. I'm going to do a video on how to teach your bird to talk. Will be an upcoming video. Please leave a comment below if that's something you're looking forward to seeing. I'll talk about some different ways to get your bird to talk and different things like that. But essentially, I just said pretty bird to him a lot, and he picked it up and started saying it back to me. Then I taught him to play peekaboo. We played peekaboo until he learned how to say it, so now he says that a lot. I taught him with YouTube videos how to whistle if you're happy and you know it, and then eventually he learned how to say the words if you're happy and you know it, clap your beak. And then I decided to teach him a Queen song, and when he mastered that, then we learned Pirates of the Caribbean, which he doesn't get that one 100% correct, but it's still really cute and he tries his darndest, so it's cool. I just wanted to try to teach him something more complicated, and he learned to say goodbye. 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 and he makes a little kissy noise because when I leave for work or for school, even though with the pandemic right now, technically I don't go to school, but when I did, I would say goodbye and blow him a little kiss, and now he says goodbye and makes a little kissy noise back to me when I'm saying goodbye. So he definitely talks and whistles quite a bit, but it started at a very young age for him. So to answer your question, he was less than 3 months old when he started whistling, and he learned his first word a little over 3 months of age. The next question is, have you always naturally sang so much? My older cockatiel is so quiet. Any tips? So yeah, I would say since he started out so young that he naturally likes to talk and whistle. Just seems to be part of his personality and how he likes to communicate. The important thing is every bird's personality is different. If you want to try to coax your bird into talking or whistling, using rewards like treats could be a good way to get them to do it. So when they do talk or whistle, offer them a treat. I use YouTube videos to teach them how to whistle songs because I can't whistle. But we would watch YouTube videos together to teach him different songs to whistle, and I would sing them back to him, and just kind of made it our little thing that we did together. So we would watch the videos, I would talk to him. I integrated the words I wanted to teach him into conversation so that he heard it frequently. And then I didn't need to reward him as far as talking or whistling. He just, like you said, naturally does it. But that could be a good way to get your bird to talk and whistle. And like I said, I'll do a specific video about that as well. But every bird's personality is different, especially if you have a female cockatiel. They just tend to be very quiet. So that's not really something that you're going to be able to change. But you can definitely make it a fun activity for you guys. We can't do another kissy break. We only do one per video. But you can definitely make it into a fun activity for you and your bird when you do one-on-one time, so that way they'll find it special. I find that when he really wants attention, since that's our thing that we do together, that he will talk or whistle a lot when he's trying to get my attentions. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning to some Queen or Pirates of the Caribbean, or like today was the first day I'm back at online school. I could hear him from the other room saying peekaboo. I'm working on teaching him to play peekaboo with his reflection in the mirror, which is going really well, rather than just peekaboo with me. So try to turn it into a game, make it fun, make it a one-on-one activity, something special that you do together. Use the words frequently, play the song frequently that you're trying to teach them to whistle, and use those YouTube videos. You can find YouTube videos of birds whistling, particularly cockatiels, pretty easily, especially for songs like the Addams Family and stuff like that you can find. But just keep trying, don't give up. Maybe try to offer rewards when your bird does sing or talk. Okay, the next question is, how long did it take to get used to the flight suit? Would it be safe for an older cockatiel to try? Flight suits, they can be really tricky. Now, as I said earlier, every bird's personality is different. So even if you have a cockatiel and I have a cockatiel, they can have totally different personalities. With Archie, I started him out really young putting on the flight suit. And essentially what I did was the first week or two, I put the flight suit close enough to his cage that he could see it, but not so close that it scared him. And I moved it closer to the cage each day, visibility wise, until it was right in front of his cage. Now, if you're gonna do that, don't hang the flight suit from the cage because they could hang themselves from it or get caught in it or something. So don't put it that close to the cage. I hung it on his play stand, which has wheels, so I could roll it closer and closer to the cage, or there's a little side table next to his cage that I put things on, so I could put it there as well. But just don't hang it from the cage because then they could get injured or pass away due to an accident, which we don't want. There's a lot of different styles of flight suits that you can get, like the aviator or the flight suit bird diaper. We use the bird diaper. Here's a picture of Archie wearing his flight suit. I got it off of Etsy from Happy Parrots Home. It has a cute little bow tie. I got to customize the colors and everything, so he looks super dapper in it. He looks really cute. I like it. Once he was used to seeing it is when I started having him interact with it, so he could walk over to it and touch it. And then after a few days or a few sessions of doing that, I put it on him. Now, I'm not going to tell you that he just willingly put the flight suit on. He did struggle a bit, but each time I would put him in it, there was less and less struggle. I think because he understood that by wearing the flight suit, it meant that he got to go outside, and he likes going outside. He's never tried to fly away in his flight suit. There was a couple of times where the wind grabbed him, and the flight suit definitely kept him from being swept away. Or there was another time where some kids approached us, and even though I told them not to try to pet him, they stuck their hands right at him, and he flew to try to get away from them. By the way, if someone tells you not to touch their pet, don't do it. It's very rude, and you don't know how that animal's going to react. So if he hadn't been wearing his harness, I could have lost my bird, which is another thing. Whether you clip your bird's wings or not, you shouldn't take them outside unless they're free flight trained without a harness, because even with clipped wings, they can still fly, especially if they catch even just a little bit of wind. Your bird could be gone. Whenever we go outside, we use the backpack or the flight suit. He really seems to prefer the backpack to the flight suit nowadays, so I use that more so. But the flight suit, it was just a matter of conditioning him to get him used to it. Starting out young was good. I would say if you want to do it with an older bird, once again, every bird's personality is different. You might not be able to get your bird to wear it. It could just be something that they're never going to get used to. I tried to put one on my African gray when I first got her when she was 11. She's 20 now, and she started ripping out her feathers all where the harness was touching her. So I've just never tried it again. I just know that that's a stressor for her, and it's not worth the risk of her hurting herself to try to get her in it. So definitely try that conditioning to see if they'll get used to it. Use treats as a reward, so when they touch it, give them a treat like a sunflower seed, just so they associate that harness with something positive. Live Laugh Birds has a great video on harness training your bird as well. I'll put a link for that down below as well. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, that your bird may not be receptive to a harness, but it's just the reality of things. Not every bird's going to be able to be harness trained. If your bird doesn't want to wear the harness, you try that conditioning and it doesn't work, definitely look into getting one of those backpacks, like the Celty backpack that I got. I'll put a link for that up top here in the corner. Archie absolutely loves it. Getting him in a flight suit is pretty tricky now, just because he really likes the backpack instead. So I tend to use that more often than the flight suit. I save that for going shopping in stores, which with the pandemic right now really isn't a thing that anyone's doing. So I've just been using the backpack to take him outside for walks. So I wouldn't say that it would be unsafe for an older bird to try. It just won't be as easy, and they may not be as receptive to it at first. The next question is, what's Archie's favorite feathered fun box? I would say his favorite is the June Carnival themed one. That one just had a lot of fun toys. If you watch the video about it, which I'll have in the corner here, he was just really excited and singing and whistling and just super happy. He loved all the toys that were in that box, so I would say that's definitely his favorite one. My favorite one is the July one because it was the rainbow themed one for Marlene's birthday, and that one came with the drawstring bag for me, so that was my favorite. But you asked Archie's favorite, and his favorite was the carnival themed one back in June of this year. So the next question is Archie's favorite flock member, which I consider, for our flock, the bacon flock, I consider it to be the 5 birds as well as the 2 dogs and myself. So that's what the bacon flock really means. He doesn't like the other birds. He's interested in Toodles. I call her Toots, the canary, very interested in her. I wouldn't say he likes her necessarily because they really don't interact because she's not out. But he definitely doesn't get along with my Quaker because she bit him earlier this year, and my other birds don't like him. So, and I don't let the dogs interact with the birds. So his favorite flock member is me, his mom. You're a mama's boy though. He's definitely a mama's boy. If I have friends come over, he'll let them hold him, but he will immediately, bad example there, he'll immediately fly to me and not want to be held by anyone but me. So his favorite flock member, I would say, is me. But if you were meaning as a bird, I would say Toots is his favorite flock member, or Toodles the canary. So our next question is, where did you get Archie? I got Archie at Varieties. It's a bird store in the Valley Park, Missouri area by St. Louis. It's about 3 hours away from me. Absolutely fabulous store. All birds everywhere. They have a baby bird room, which I love. You can go visit your bird whenever you want to during store hours. They also do boarding. They sell tons of toys and cages. It's just an amazing store. I love to go shop there a few times a year just because it is so far away. It's hard for me to get there sometimes since I'm going to school full-time and I work full-time and I have 7 animals to take care of, so I don't get to go there as often as I like, but that's where I got him from. And that is followed with the question of how old is he? Archie will be 2 years old on November 21st. He was hatched on November 21st, 2018. Archie's favorite thing to destroy. That's our next question. Favorite thing to destroy? My textbooks. So luckily with my textbooks, the company that I work for does tuition assistance. So they actually, right now, they're technically paying for my tuition, or reimbursing me for it rather. But they reimburse me for my textbooks as well. And that is Archie's favorite thing to chew on. I'm old-fashioned, so like they do ebooks for my college, but I also like to do physical textbooks, just a personal preference thing. But when I have the books out, sometimes I'll have Archie out while I'm studying and he'll come over and tear up the pages. I try to only let him chew on the loose leaf books. If you're not in college, when you get into college, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some of the books are bound and some of them are loose leaf that you have to put in a binder. So since you can't resell the loose leaf ones back to the store really, those ones I don't care if he chews on, but the ones that are actually bound books, I try not to let him chew on so I can resell those back to the college. But the loose leaf ones, I can't sell those back anyway, and I didn't pay for the book, so I don't really care if he chews on it. My biology book from a couple semesters ago, he like pooped on it several areas. He chewed up a lot of the pages. It's a total mess. So yeah, definitely couldn't sell that book to anybody. Our next question is, where do you live? We live in the central Illinois area in the United States. Specifically, we live in Peoria, which is less than 3 hours southish of Chicago, because we don't measure miles here in the Midwest, we measure it all by time. Our other question that we got about food is, what is his favorite food? And I would say sweet potato and zucchini, like I mentioned earlier. But he also loves his AV cakes and his pellet berries and seed. He likes a lot of different things, but sweet potato is definitely his favorite. Right? That's all you think about, isn't it? Sweet potato. I think that's what's for dinner tonight, actually. Yeah. I like to get the sweet potatoes from the produce section that are wrapped, so that all you do is microwave them to make them. You just put them in the microwave for like 7 minutes. You got to make sure you let it cool really well, just because you don't want them to burn their crop. He can't eat a whole sweet potato. He would probably love it. But I just give him a really big chunk of it. I have to cut it up. I tried to give him just a chunk of sweet potato in his bowl for him to tear apart himself. He wouldn't do it, would not touch it. I had to take that piece of sweet potato back into the kitchen and cut it up into smaller pieces before he would eat it. He's very particular. Would not just bite into a chunk of it. Even though by the time you like cut into it, it's like mashed up anyways. There's not really a good way to cut up cooked sweet potato. So it ends up like mashed up anyway. But yeah, he wouldn't even touch it until I cut it. He's spoiled. Alright, so thanks for joining us for our Archie Q&A video today. I had fun answering your questions about Archie. If you would like to see another one of these, please leave a comment below and leave your questions. Or if you'd like to see me do a Q&A video about one of the other members of the bacon flock, like maybe one of the dogs or one of the other birds or me or something, leave a comment for that down below as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. We would appreciate that. Until then, we will see you next time. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.